What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to the Apache Halloween YouTube channel, and in today's video we're going to be taking a look at the 2015 Spirit Halloween Moonshine Barrel Zombie. This is probably one of my more favorite zombie characters and jump scare characters. He's actually like a jump scare character. There's like a whole little story behind him and such. And that's something we don't usually see. Usually pop-up props are very generic, and it's more of the fact of catching you off guard in a scare. But this one is like a character of his own, and I really like that. And there's a lot of attention to detail made with this prop. This prop was made by a company called Easewell Management. Easewell, something like that. I don't think they make props for Spirit anymore, but this was one of their cooler ones. Very interesting in how it's put together. Very different from anything we see today. Yeah, this guy came out in 2015. He was originally supposed to come out in 2014, but for some reason they canceled him, and so he didn't come out until 2015, and that makes him the last animatronic with the slime font boxes. Because in 2014, that was the end of slime font. 2015, they changed it, and this was like carryover technically, so it came in a font like this. Now this isn't an original box, this is a online only box, but basically everything is quite the same. So without further ado, let's open him up. Alright, so I have the camera mounted up high so we can see what's actually coming out of the box and how it was packed away, because I know that this one, well, when I tried to put it away in the box, it was really difficult for me. And I think I got it to basically how it originally was back in the day. So I just want to share that in case anyone else is having troubles with getting him back in his box at the end of the season. So here we have the zombie barrel, or not zombie barrel, the Moonshine Barrel Zombie. I get those confused sometimes, but this is what you see. It's just a bunch of cardboard, and there's just stuff hidden inside of these cardboard slots. So here's the first one. Let's take it out. In here, I've got, well, that was the adapter. We've got the adapter right in here. Also have the clothing, and on the clothing attached are the hands. These hands are latex. They feel foam filled, which is nice. But these are prone to dry rotting, so definitely want to keep an eye on them. Make sure they're in a plastic bag like this when you store them away, and just keep them out of the sunlight. Next up in this little cardboard slot is the head. There he is, the Moonshine Barrel Zombie. Again, foam-filled latex, or not foam-filled actually. There's actually like plastic inserts in here, but it is latex. The mouth moves, although very minimally. The eyes light up, and very cool overall. Some Velcro, and you can see, I guess it's kind of foam-filled, but not really. But there is the head. Very lightweight, probably for the pop-up mechanism to be fast. I'm going to tip the box on its side because I found it's easier to just pull everything out like this. So here we go. Everything else is basically stuck in the actual barrel itself. So in here we have the incredibly odd looking scissor mech. If I can get it out here. Don't want to cut up any wires. Actually, this comes out first. It's one of the brackets for the front of the barrel. Next, we should be able to pull out the main mech. Here it is, the main mechanism. Look at that thing. That's the pop-up mech for this zombie. It's all a scissor mech. There's a bunch of springs attached to it, and very bulky. But this is all plastic, which is one of the downsides to him, because I guess as this guy moves over and over again, the plastic wears down, and there's a lot of play that starts to evolve. So that's one of the things that you got to watch out for. I guess eventually, if worse does come to worse, you can always 3D print new arms, but he doesn't have the problem right now, so I'm not going to worry about it. And then in here we have the barrel with a bunch, and I mean a bunch, of little tiny support poles that probably I'm going to have trouble remembering on where they go. But that's everything that's in here. Nothing else. The barrel just comes up like this basically, and he hides in there. But you can see that's how that works. Alright, so let's see if I can remember how to put this thing up. It's kind of complicated if I remember, but I do have the instructions, fortunately, and here they are. They're just very generic instructions, black and white. One side of the paper, and kind of hard to tell what's going on, but we should be able to get through this. So let's get to it. So the first step is to take the main mech, and we want to somehow slide it on. Here we go. This gets slides on this way, and you want to make sure it like all lines up nicely. And just push it this way. Okay, after trying to mess with it for like 3 minutes, I finally figured it out. So basically, the whole mechanism, you want to put it on this side and then like slide it over. There's these indents on the metal base of the barrel that like hold it in. If you can try to kind of see that. You can see it right there in a way. And then it slides in, and then there's just one little snap lock right there. And that's snap locks it in and secures it, I guess. Don't really know how secure it is. But if we turn it around here, it lines up because all of these wires come from the base, or come from the mech, go down to the base right here. So you know they're on like the right side. And I just didn't show you this before, but here's the control box. It's right under here. There's a little compartment in the barrel. You see a volume control knob and some other stuff. So that's kind of cool. But let's continue with the progress. Now I'm just going to plug in all the wires that need to be plugged in. I want to try to make sure everything is grouped up nicely. Don't want anything getting tangled up, although I really don't think that's going to happen. So we have wires here with like labels, so you know what goes where, although I think all the plugs might be different, so it wouldn't even matter. So I think the next thing is we're going to take these poles here. There's a bunch of random ones, and there's like these little notches that get like slid in too. And I think that's what makes up the barrel armature, basically. So we're just going to put these in here. And you see that they have like notches for them to get slid into with another one here. So we're going to take those, do the same thing. There's these poles that say this way up, and this is what holds in like the barrel armature that I'm going to show you. But we're just going to connect everything together here, and this gets pushed down onto the base of the barrel, basically. And then there's another one. Just going to slide it in. There we go. Now you can see what I'm talking about earlier. We're going to turn all these so that they face a certain direction. And then you have this piece, which is like the front. This is like the armature piece that like where the zombie hides out of, basically. And that throws in right there like that. And you can like turn these poles so they like line up. I think they're supposed to go like that. That looks like the nicest outcome. And then there's a plug here that plugs to a corresponding plug at the base. So we'll just plug these two in. I'm thinking now we're going to take the clothing maybe. And this is a confusing part for me. Or we might wait for the clothing actually. I'm not sure. Yeah, I think we actually wait for the clothing. I think we're going to want to pull up the barrel now. So let's just do that. The barrel comes up. And now I know that this is a snug fit here. So there's these little like hooks of sorts. There's this like Velcro that the pole kind of like slides behind. It's really kind of sketchy. But you do that for all four sides. See, this one's like poking through. There's like a rip in the fabric, unfortunately. You can probably like get some duct tape and duct tape it from the back to try and hide it. Maybe I shouldn't have done that one first. But you have to do that for all four of the sides. And it's really a snug fit. Alright, so I got it all in there. It was kind of like a pain. It took about 5 minutes. But you can see like the inner black fabric is all on the outside. or like the inner inside. The poles are like hidden behind between the two layers of fabric. You can kind of see it right there. But I think that's how it wants you to do it, and it looks the nicest. So now I think we're going to try to put the shirt on and then the head. So I guess we should try to do that. So I think my best option here is just to drape the clothing over the mechanism. Yes, so there are Velcro pieces like this where you can kind of see it right down there. And then the shirt has like strands to it that will get attached to there. There's like 4 of them. And I can't find it, of course, but trust me, there's like strands on the shirt that need to attach to that. So I'll do that, and then we'll put the head on. Okay, so I got those little strands on. You can kind of see one right there. It's connected to the Velcro. So there's 4 of them. Now we're going to take the hands, put them on here, and as well as the head, and we should be basically done at that point. So here are the hands. Foam filled, really nice quality stuff here. They're kind of just like half hands. They kind of stop right here. But these just get Velcroed to the rim here. And I'm not sure. I would think like if you were in a barrel, you would want the thumb to be like on the inside, like this. So I'm going to make mine like that. I think that makes the most sense, and I'll do that to the other side as well. So now all we really have to do is take the head, snap lock it into place, let it get in there. Okay, it's kind of off if you notice. It like he looks to his right a little bit. And then there's a plug on here for the eyes and mouth that you got to plug in, and that's everything. And then there's just some Velcro on the shirt that gets connected to the neck and stuff. So I'll just do that right now. Okay, I plugged them in. Hopefully everything works. There we go. See, his mouth is like barely moving. But they're all like that, unfortunately. Then he slowly like teeters down. There he goes. You can kind of see him peeking through, which is pretty cool. But it's nice that like there's like lighting differences. So the light shines in the barrel first, and then the LEDs up top shine to show him. And his sensor's right at the base of the barrel. You could probably barely see it. It's right down in there, peeking through. Let's activate him one more time. His sensor's okay. It's not the greatest. I think it's just a light sensor. But there he goes. So you see the light comes on in there, and then it changes to the top. There you can see the lights up there now. But that's what I mean by him being a good character and not just a jump scare. Like there's a whole thing built around this, the zombie killer Moonshine. It's a zombie who must have gotten into the Moonshine reserves or something, and now he's a really crazy zombie. But there's a little story behind it, and that's what I like about it. Modern props, some of them are really cool, like jump scares, but there's no character building. Now, we're actually seeing a few this year, 2024, Cotton Candy Dan, great character and a jump scare. But props like Mr. Dark, he's a jump scare and that's it. There's not really a big character. It's more of the wow factor of how scary he is. But this is one of the ones that is a character, and I really like that. And I like the detail that's on the actual barrel itself. Spirit Hollows Distilleries, Zombie Killer Moonshine. And I like the attention with the lighting. Like, I like the fact that there's lighting in general for a pop-up jump scare kind of a animatronic. But that's a quick demo of him. Let's go to a nighttime demo and see how he works at night and check out that lighting feature. well, there he is, the Moonshine Barrel Zombie. What an awesome prop. Great character. Love him so much. I've been looking for this one for a while now. Happy to have found him, and it was a pretty good price as well. And I have a spot that I believe he's going to go. He's going to definitely go in the farm area. Makes the most sense to me. And I'm looking forward to that. He's probably going to get a good couple of jump scares. He's not the fastest jump scare, but he's bound to catch a couple of people off guard. And it's just the quality of the character looks so well. It's not just a generic plastic skull. It's full latex, nicely detailed, really scary looking. The attention to detail on this thing is what makes him so cool. He might not be the coolest, greatest, fastest jump scare, but the character, and I keep saying this, the character itself makes up for it. So that's all I really have to say about this guy. Comment below what your thoughts are on this Moonshine Barrel Zombie prop. I think he's awesome, and if you definitely have the chance to find one for a good price, it has to be a good price, definitely pick him up, because he is something you don't really see anymore. A lot of them are getting dry rot problems, and the barrel, if you leave the barrel out in the sun, it gets sun faded and just starts to like shrivel and crumple up. It's a really cheap material. I'm not going to say cheap, but it's a thinner material, so just keep an eye out. I mean, this has held up for a couple years now, and you know, you got to think it's been moved around and stuff, but it's held up good, and it seems pretty strong, but I don't know. I wouldn't trust it out in the sun. I wouldn't trust any of these things out in the sun. But yeah, I want to thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next video.